Solving a quadratic equation. In addition to factoring, there are two properties that are key to solving quadratic equations in factored form. One is the zero product property, and it goes like this. If a times b equals 0 and a does not equal b, then either a has to equal 0 or b has to equal 0. Let's pause on that and talk about that a second. So a and b can be any real number you can think of. And the stipulation is a cannot equal b, so they have to be two different numbers. If the product is 0, then one of those two numbers has to be 0. Okay, so if you just think about it, you pick a number for a, the product, and the product's equal to 0, then b has to equal 0. Or if we flip it, you pick any number you want for b, and the product is 0. So let's say that I want b to equal 1.13. Okay, so if a times b is equal to 0, and a times 1.13 is equal to 0, then a has to equal 0. That's what the zero product property is saying. The next property we need to consider is the substitution property. And that says if b is equal to c, then any expression like a times b can replace b with c like this, and you'll have a times c. So let's say that b is equal to 1 plus 1. Okay, so b is equal to 1 plus 1. We'll keep it simple. And, oops, I said 1 plus 1. I wrote the answer. And c is equal to 2. Okay, so obviously b is equal to c. So if a, let's say a is equal to 3. So a times b, 3 times 1 plus 1, I can replace b with the number 2 and get 3 times 2. That's called the substitution property. I can substitute one value for the other, and it's still going to be the same. The next part we're going to talk about is over here. Not all equations will be in factored form. In these cases, set the equation equal to 0 if it isn't already, and then place in factored form before solving. So what that means is if we have an equation like x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0, that's not in factored form. We have to factor that, okay, to x minus 3, x plus 2, and that's factored form. Now we can go ahead and solve this. To solve the factored equation, x plus 2 times x minus 3 is equal to 0, we first of all use the substitution property. So in this case, a is going to equal x plus 2, b is equal to x minus 3. So remember we said that a times b is equal to 0. So we're going to substitute. Instead of a, we'll have x plus 2. And instead of b, we'll have x minus 3. So x plus 2 times x minus 3 will equal 0. Now the zero product property can be applied. So one of these two, a or b, has to equal 0. So we can consider both cases. We'll take x plus 2, set that equal to 0, or x minus 3 and set that equal to 0. By solving each equation separately, we see that x can equal negative 2 or x can equal 3. So the solutions are either x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 3. Solving a quadratic example number 2. So here what we see is we have a quadratic. Okay? So to solve a standard quadratic equation, x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, we first have to factor. So factor the equation. It's already equal to 0, so that's a good start. So the quadratic x squared plus 2x minus 3 factors into x plus 3x minus 1. Now we can use the zero product property to set each factor equal to 0. So I take the first factor, x plus 3, I set that equal to 0. Then I take the second factor, x minus 1, and I set that equal to 0. And solving them, I'll work that out for you. I take x plus 3, set that equal to 0. I subtract 3 from both sides, and that's going to be x is equal to negative 3. The other one is going to be x minus 1. Set that equal to 0. I solve that by adding 1 to both sides. They cancel, and I have x is equal to 1. So there's two possible answers. The solutions are either x is equal to -3, and the other solution is x is equal to 1.